So what I'm going to talk about is a small project that we have in our company where we want to collect some data about the happiness of our people that work for us, similar to what you see on airports. Obviously we didn't want to go for a commercial solution because it was too expensive, so I built this little box with 3 buttons and a microcontroller inside, and this microcontroller, as you can see, is very cheap, but it has Wi-Fi, and that was why I was attracted to it. So the system that I built for this is kind of a mess of different programming languages, starting with Lua, through Python, through SQL, through XSLT, and I'm going to show a little code about for every single one of them. So starting with Lua, the buttons themselves are running on a microcontroller that is programmed in Lua. The system is called Node MCO, and that's quite nice because it gives you an interactive programming experience on a microcontroller and saves you from having to work with C or assembly or whatever. So I have done the other things before, but this was kind of a new experience to me, and even though I don't really love Lua, it is way better to have Lua and a prompt on the device rather than having to compile C, upload it and run it. That's kind of nice. So, and the good thing about Node MCU is that it has a lot of interesting libraries. So what I use here to send the key press events to the rest of the system is MQTT. There's an MQTT library, and the MQTT library can talk to our RabbitMQ infrastructure. So that was kind of a plug-and-play experience. Next thing that I have in here is a Python program that collects the votes that it receives through from the broker and writes them to a Postgres database because the device itself is too dumb to directly write to Postgres. The initial version of this had a Raspberry Pi that directly wrote to Postgres, but now the Python program is left there. I would rather have written this in Clojure because we do Clojure mostly, but the program already existed, so I just reused it. Then a little piece of SQL is used to compress the data that we collect in Postgres, the events, and group them by day, and put them into an XML document. And finally, that XML document is converted to HTML using XSLT. XSLT is a language that is not terribly popular, in particular because people hate the XML around it. And while looking at the code, I kind of understand it, but I don't see it anymore. So to me, it's a very, very nice language. So, and in the end, what we get is this calendar of people happiness. And what I can report is that collecting the data, compressing it this way, and then displaying it really gives us some insight into what is good and what is bad, and when people feel good and when they feel bad. As you can see, there was one day in this month that wasn't great. The previous month, oh no, it's July, so I kind of know why. So yeah, that's it. So Node MCU, if you need to have a device and have it wireless and don't want to mess with a Raspberry Pi or want to have it very cheap, that's great. There's the Node MCU build service where you can select the libraries that you want in your controller image, and it builds it for you, which saves you from having to go through the involved procedure of setting up a cross-development toolchain. I didn't know that MQTT was in RabbitMQ, so it's a standard feature and worked quite well. And then I can also recommend using or having a look at XSLT3 because it is a great document transformation language, and it even supports JSON, so might be interesting to some of you. That's it. Thank you.